let me introduce to you today's presenter. She has got broad experience in the international healthcare industry. In the last 15 years, she has worked with multinational pharmaceutical companies in diverse local and global roles, and brings expertise in business expansion, marketing and customer strategy, and innovation. She holds both a law degree and an MBA in international marketing. She has a Croatian background, grew up in Germany, and she just loves nature. Please welcome Isabel Bicanic, who is the Managing Director for the Europe Central region. So, Isabel, the online stage is all yours.
Yeah, welcome everybody. I hope you can see me well and hear me well. It's really my great pleasure to be with all of you here. And thank you also very much for your kind introduction, Oliver. And I told you, I think yesterday, that Facebook always tells me that I seem to be one of your biggest fans in Facebook. I'm normally not a huge Facebook user, but in terms of really listening to your recordings that you on a weekly basis manages together with Maria, this is a must for me. It's always been a must. So thank you that you invited me now to be on the other side of this great call.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah, I am now 6 weeks already, 6 weeks in my new role as the new Managing Director of Europe Central. And when Oliver invited me to this call, I was thinking about what might be of interest for you. And first I was thinking about, I will share a little bit of the development of the Terra in Europe, about kind of performances. But then I was thinking about, I'm pretty much new to the Terra and I'm still learning. So I'm learning each day. And certainly it might be also interesting for you to somehow get to know myself, who I am, but also, and in particular, how I came to the Terra. So why I have chosen the Terra and how my path to the Terra looked like. And that's why I decided I will share with you a little bit about my role as an MD, what I am responsible for. I will share a little bit about our performances, but I would say the big focus of today will be to share with you a little bit about who I am, where I come from, how I came to the Terra, and in particular, what were my learnings on the way. So I hope you would like it. And certainly the next time we meet, maybe let's say after some months, I would be happy to give you some more insights on the European performances and development. The title that I've chosen for the day is The Power of Following Your Inner Voice, My Path to the Terra Corporate. It might, for some people, sound a little bit off topic for business and for a managing director. For me, it is not at all, because I would say one of the main reasons why I am where I am now is because I have followed my inner voice the last 3 years. Looking at my current responsibility, so you see here Europe, and what we from the Terra somehow decided at the moment is that let's say that we have like a kind of umbrella of EMEA. EMEA meaning Europe, Middle East, as well as Russia. So this is the umbrella where Europe is currently fitting in. If we look at Europe only, we have divided it so far in Europe West and Europe Central. And the Central region, this is where I'm currently responsible for. So it's mainly the countries, the Germanic countries, so Austria, Germany, Switzerland, but also, and I saw that many of you come from the Eastern European countries, so like Hungary, Czech Republic, Romania, Bulgaria, Poland, and also like more the northern part, so Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. So these are, and I hope I haven't forgot any of those countries. Slovakia is obviously also in there. This is like what we call the Europe Central region. My colleague, Gerd Auger, is responsible for the western part. So mainly the countries like France, Spain, Italy, everything around Netherlands and the Nordics. So this is Europe West. And obviously we do have, I think since 1 year, a GM, Natalia. She's responsible for the Russian area. And we do have also a general manager, Cameron, who is responsible in developing all the Middle East countries. These are still countries that are more in a kind of new launch and development phase, where Europe is a kind of already more established area, with still a diversity of, let's say, countries who have more dynamics, who are already longer with the Terra, and newer ones. But still, I would say in this umbrella region, Europe is already the most established market. And this is amazing, still growing double-digit. Here I show you some of the revenue numbers in terms of the last years. So you see there was a high dynamic in terms of sales, and it's still double-digit growing. So certainly there are some markets who grow faster, some who grow in a slower pace, but overall it's incredible. So we are, each month we are really amazed what you are doing outside, how the customers really enjoys and just love our oils. And this is also something that impresses me the most in my daily business. If we look, for example, for the first quarter, you see here some revenue numbers. We are currently around 90 million for Europe only. We see around 600 enrollments per day. We see around 400,000 active customers. And what impresses me the most is the retention rate. So it's compared to last year increased by, I think, even 20%. And we are now at around 60, 63, 65% retention rate, which is amazing. So compared to other companies in the direct selling industry, this is an all-time high. But also, as Oliver mentioned, I come from the pharmaceutical area, and I was a long time responsible for all the immunology business. So these are a lot of patients who are suffering from chronic diseases like psoriasis or dermatologic diseases, from gut diseases, really chronic severe gut diseases, from rheumatology. So really patients who, where the quality of life is really low. And I can tell you that even those patients, the retention rates in taking their medicine on a daily basis or in a certain period, it's much, much lower. So for example, in psoriasis, it's around 30% only. So the retention rate that we see with the Terra is just incredible. And it shows really that our customers, that you love the oils, because you really see that it has really positive impact on your daily life in terms of your health and in terms of your overall well-being. So this just a little bit like snapshot on some of the numbers. And now I would like to give you some more insights on my way to the Terra. And I have chosen those pictures because I always think that pictures tell a lot more than every word can do. So who I am, and it all starts with the lady in purple you see on the in the middle, it's my grandma. She was a very strong, a very empathetic, and a very faithful woman. She lived in Croatia. She had 3 children, and she was a farmer like you can imagine, of one of the farmers who are planting our beautiful nature remedies. She grew up very poor. And since I know her, she told me always great stories about her childhood in nature, her childhood with her father helping him as a farmer outside. So she never had anything negative, although she had worked hard her whole life. In the 60s, she had 3 children, as I said. They were 13, 9, and 11. She realized that there is an opportunity, not in Croatia, but outside. She heard of her friend, Germany is searching for people to help to work. And Germany needs people from other countries and invites them to come. And she saw a really great opportunity to go there to a foreign country. She didn't know the language at the time. She didn't know anybody there. But she realized it could be an opportunity to afford a better life for her children. I need to say that she was married at the time. However, her husband died. He died from cancer. And even before, she was married with another man, and he died during the war. So her whole life, she somehow need to manage her life on her own together with her 3 children. So she needed to decide what to do. And she decided to go to Germany and to start working there and to send each month, and now I get a little bit emotional, the money to her children. They couldn't come with her. And her big why was really to enable her children a better life. And looking back, she's the reason why I am here, because my parents met and they felt in love. And they, after some years, also came to Germany. And they just loved also the country, and they get to know people there. So I myself, I grew up in Germany. And I say I'm very grateful for everything my grandma has done, because I know it was a hard decision at the time, but she did it. So she was courageous, she did it, although it was not easy. And what helped her very much was her faith. So she was a very faithful woman. She believed in God, and she believed that we are all guided. So currently I live near Munich together with my partner Carsten. You see him on the left side, and you see us also in Croatia, because this is also the place where we both feel very much connected, where we both feel somehow very much at home. You see me also with a kid and with a child. Unfortunately, I don't have any children, but this is my beautiful niece, Charlotte. And I can tell you that I learn a lot from her. She also loves the oils, obviously, as much as I do, especially wild orange and lemon. And what I also would like somehow to share with you, that for me personally, what was always important in life was some kind of movement. So personal movement, I really get, I don't like being static on one place. And that's why I'm, like Oliver said, really a lover of nature and getting outside and just to move my body, right? And to feel this energy and feel myself. And when somebody asked me, when did your journey with the Terra begin, then I normally say 3 years ago during the convention in London. But yesterday, when I was thinking about what to present to you, I recognized it began earlier. It began in May 2017, and you see me here in Bali during my yoga teacher training. At that time, I had a global position in the US in a very big pharmaceutical company, and I had an international role. However, don't ask me how it came. Something came to me that I want to be a yoga teacher and I want to experience this kind of new side. And I decided relatively spontaneously to go for a yoga teacher training in Bali. I was there for 1 month. And at that time, I started questioning some aspects of my life. I was always a businesswoman. I loved to work. I loved to interact with different cultures. I loved to move projects forward. So I really got my passion in working and in helping other companies to grow. However, there was something missing. And I realized this inner voice very strongly in Bali. And there was something inside myself telling me, Isabel, there is another way that the universe or that God or whoever you will call it has for you in mind. And it's not to pursue the way that you currently go. And this was in May 2017. Now you might have asked yourself, how did she meet David Sterling? And when did she meet David Sterling? It was 1 year later. So it was in May 2018. At that time, I didn't know anything about the Terra. It's not correct. I had a home essential kit at home. And I remember that I tried some of the oils, but have I really understood what it's all about? Have I used them? No. My intention to go to the convention in London was just to be with a friend and have a nice weekend in London with her. So I went to London, and after this weekend, I can tell you, these days literally have changed my life. I was so impressed by the people on the stage, by their integrity. I remember David Sterling. If I remember well, he held 2 speeches, one at the beginning, one in the end. And he was asking a question that resonated very much within my heart. And it was a question about, what is your legacy in life? So really, why are you here? And I couldn't believe that a CEO of a company is asking those kinds of questions. And everything that I heard during that convention really resonated in my entire body. And I can tell you, and I'm sure everybody of you had such moments where your body is somehow shaking, where you begin somehow to cry, and you see that this is something that has a bigger importance that you could ever imagine. And this was a moment like this. And looking back, I know today that at that day, at that weekend, my old job somehow ended and my calling began. This was all in May 2018. I came home and I knew I need to learn more about this company. I need to learn more about the oils. I want to learn more about the founders, about their mission, how everything began. And if you have the chance to see the Genesis story, there is a video online. Have a look at it. It's amazing. So when I came home, I really experienced the oils. I used them. I Googled doTERRA. I really tried to get as many information as possible. And the more I learned, the more it felt so strongly in myself that I want to help and support this company in its further growth. So I want to make a contribution to a more human world. And this is how I will do it. It was really so clear to me. And this was all like in May 2018. We are now, 2019. No, sorry. Now I get confused from my whole story. It was all in May 2018. Then life happens again. So I was again in my old job, traveling around the world, focusing on my job and each and everything. But slowly I realized my inner voice often tells me again this, Isabel, there is another way for you. And so time went by. And in 2019, I got the information that doTERRA was planning to build a second headquarter in Munich, in Europe. So this was somehow a sign for me. I said to myself, Isabel, you have to try to somehow connect with those people. And then there was the convention in this year in Düsseldorf, so also in Germany. So I said to myself, Isabel, you will go there and you will speak with David Sterling. At that time, it was a big step for me. You can imagine that, I didn't know how will we react. I didn't know if I would have the opportunity. But what I did is that I told some of my friends with whom I was at the convention about my plan, about my wish. And when I was in Düsseldorf, I knew now I have to do this because I told it to myself. I told it to others. You have to do this. And as you see in the picture, I did it. This picture, I didn't know that somebody took it, to be honest, because it was really during a break of the sessions when I approached him. And I asked him, whenever he sees opportunities to help him and support doTERRA on a global level. And after this call, I had some conversations with the doTERRA leadership team. And this was like if I remind me well, I think it was in the summertime, I think in August 2019. And the conversations were all positive, very excited. However, at the time, doTERRA hadn't any vacancy. So it was a no. And it was a no, but however, somehow my heart felt it's a not yet. It's not the right timing. I was somehow at a kind of crossroad. I have been asking myself, should I continue the more convenient path? So pursuing my career in the pharmaceutical business that I've done in the last 15 years? Or should I decide for a new way where the direction, or let's say the next steps are unclear, but where my direction is very clear? Because I knew I would like to support this company on a corporate level and make my contribution to a human world. However, as I said, it was not clear how to get there. And you can imagine that this decision was not easy to make. And you can imagine that there were a lot of people around me who somehow, how should I say it, were more on the secure side. And when I took the decision to not follow the pharmaceutical path anymore, some of them couldn't understand it. Some of them supported me. I had great mentors on my way. And in the end, it was somehow my inner voice that was guiding me. So I can tell you that myself, my mind, also had doubting moments. I had a lot of doubting moments, but it was not my heart. It was my mind. So very logical, you know. And then I have asked myself, okay, Isabel, what can you do next? Where can you learn more about doTERRA? Where can you learn more about the business? Because again, also the network marketing business was something totally new for me. Where can I learn even more about the oils? And somehow, looking back, it was really obvious to me that I need to engage myself as a wellness advocate. And that's what I did. So the last year, I built a small team in Germany and in Austria. And I did what I love. I share the oils, I coached people, I helped people to live a healthier lifestyle. And I enjoyed it a lot. At the same time, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about about challenges you deal with on a daily basis. But I also learned a lot about the community doTERRA provides. And this is for me something I have never experienced before. And I think in summer last year, I approached again the doTERRA Europe leadership team, and we had some conversations followed by some interviews the last months. And finally, I think it was February this year, I got the offer to support you on a corporate level as MD of Europe Central. So this is somehow my doTERRA path, my doTERRA story. You see, it was not a straight way. And it was certainly a path where I took different paths and different small steps. It was a path where I received some no's. However, I always tried to somehow take another path, even if it was a no. So I think it was really one of the phases in my life that I don't want to miss, even if there were some moments where they were really hard and where, as I said before, where my mind was also doubting. However, somehow I am now there where 3 years ago, my heart was telling me this is where you need to be. And I tried somehow to summarize my 3 top learnings on my way. The first would really be follow your inner voice. Follow your inner voice, even if you receive no's outside. And even if sometimes your mind is telling you something different. Try to literally go out either in nature. Ask yourself, what brings me energy? What really helps me to connect with myself? And then you will hear this voice. It will be louder than your mind. So this would be one of the learnings. And I just will have a quick look at my notes, just don't forget the most important thing in the end. Right, I noted also like that life is not static. It has its ups and downs, and this is totally normal. However, if you really pay attention to your inner voice, you will see that each decision that you will make in your life will somehow guide you to your calling. The second learning, I would say, and this is also very much connected to my grandma, have trust and have faith. No matter if you believe in God, if you believe in the universe, or if you believe in yourself, trust trust that somebody around you has really a wider, a bigger plan for your life that you can ever imagine for yourself. Patience is also important here. Looking back, I would say this was the area where I might have needed to be a little bit better. So that's why I highlight it now here. Have trust. And I noted also like trust that life always happens for you, even if your mind doesn't understand it right now. And then lastly, be courageous and do it. Reminds what my grandma did. She was very courageous and she did it. And be aware also the little steps matter. The little steps where you show courage matter. So be courageous and do it. And what is also important in this context, I think, acknowledge those little steps. Acknowledge that I said to myself, Isabel, I acknowledge that you have spoken with David Sterling. I acknowledge that you have sent an email to the doTERRA leadership team, and celebrate those little successes. Because often in life, we do have a kind of really big goal or even some milestones. And if our plan does not work out as we want, we get disappointed. And sometimes we even punish ourselves, or we stop believing in ourselves, which is not, how should I say, not good at all. And it doesn't have to be like this. It's really about acknowledging the more small steps, celebrating the small steps. And I noted also something, don't compare. So do it, but do it your way. It's always good to look for inspiration, but comparison is really the enemy for happiness. I had in the last years, I had some moments where I have compared myself. And I know that there were always like negative feelings inside myself, and it hasn't helped me. So I immediately stopped this. I saw it's not my way, so don't do this, Isabel. And then I also noted in this context, look for a mentor in your life. I told you I had several persons where I'm really grateful for. And there were persons who somehow shared my vision and my goal. And this was important because otherwise I would have maybe even more doubted what I have done. So really look for people who understand you, who understand your goal, who understand your vision. So by and large, I would say these were my 3 top learnings. Follow your inner voice, trust that life happens for you, trust yourself, trust the universe, and be courageous and do it, because this is your life. I wanted to end up with a quote. However, I thought to leave it like this and tell you a little bit from myself, my story, and maybe it gives you also some kind of inspirations tonight for your life.
Well, this is amazing, Isabel. Thank you very much. Very, very emotional and holistic approach. My question is that, obviously you and I had the chance to have a couple of great conversations in the last couple of weeks. And I know that you have a lot of strengths and skills to support the people on the field. But what do you think, what are your, what is your top strength or strengths that helped you in your life to reach your goals?
I would say, looking back, it was definitely my somehow agile and positive mindset. I said to you, I had some doubting moments, yes, but always when they came up, I really tried to somehow ask myself from a kind of neutral perspective, is this what is going on in your mind, or what is your mind telling you at the moment? Is this really true? So can I really say 100% this is true? And if you ask yourself this question more often, you realize, no, I can't say that this is true, what is going on in my head. So always try somehow to questioning if something that comes up. At the same time, I always try in life also to ask myself what might be in this difficult situation the positive thing, right? So for example, I got a no. I got a no from the Terra leadership team in May 2018 or in August. And I could have said, okay, just not my way, right? However, I always somehow tried to think about what might be the good thing here. And looking back, it's definitely that I got the experience as a wellness advocate that now serves me a lot in my current position. I now can definitely much better feel what the wellness outside go through. I can much better understand what their, I would say, issues are, but also from a customer perspective. So I believe then in everything that we go through, there is a kind of learning for us, even if we don't see it at the moment. So if you ask me about my strengths, I would definitely say it's this agile and positive mindset. And the second that certainly helped me is a kind of persistence, persistence in following my way. So if I do have as a kind of goal, I just stick to it. And no matter what the others are telling, I'm open to discuss, yes. But if I feel that this is my way, I do it. So this perseverance. And, you know, I think we have a great tool with the Terra, with the Gallup Strength Finder. And I also think that you, Oliver, mentioned that it might be a good topic for a webinar like this to somehow get more insights. What is this all about, right? Mm-hmm. For me, it was really interesting to see, according to the Gallup Strength Finder, what are my top 5 strengths. And then also to see how can I apply it somehow in my business. Because if we do this, it just flows more. So really knowing your strengths and also strengthening your strengths and not your weaknesses. I think this is also something that can help us a lot in our professional and personal life.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Balázs, Heller Balázs from Hungary has a question. Actually, he has got several questions. The first one is, what are your favorite oils or doTERRA products?
Oh, I have them here. I would say one of my most favorite oils is green mandarin. Mm-hmm. It's also from a spiritual background, the oil of discovering your potential, your inner light that is within you. And you remember my first slide that I show you with this light? I believe everybody of us has this light within. And I love also to develop other and support other people in discovering and developing their light. Mm-hmm. Another oil, and that's my go-to oil on a daily basis, it's peppermint. I love it. This freshness and coolness, and yeah, peppermint. And then Melissa.
Wow. Amazing products. Okay. Another question from Balázs. What potential do you see in doTERRA for the next few years? And what is the goal and the mission for doTERRA in your view in the next couple of years?
So again, I just started, so bear with me. I would definitely can share with you in a couple of months a little bit more concrete answers on that. But if you ask me personally how I see it right now, based on, I would say, the last weeks, what I have heard, what I have seen, what I have somehow experienced, talking with other leaders in doTERRA, it's really a huge potential. And there is a lot of fields where doTERRA is not yet there. In terms of overall trends, in terms of, I would say, potential in certain countries overall, given the populations, given, let's say the external circumstances, but also in terms of what doTERRA is currently investing from a corporate standpoint. If I think of IT, if I think of like headcount, we are constantly growing because the demand is growing, right? And if I have a look at some of the markets that just have launched and this growth already, that's incredible. So even the leaders and the founders, for them, it's really their mission to somehow position a legacy of doTERRA. So really a legacy that will be there also in 10 and 20 years. And this is their kind of why that they still have after 12 years. And this is strong, right? So there are some external factors that I see. There is huge potential in Europe, but also there is this inner culture that I see really from the top going through different leadership people and teams, where there is really this, I would say, doing and caring and dynamic that I see. So I personally see a lot of potential for Europe, as well as like EMEA as a whole.
Lovely. Another question is, and I'm sorry I cannot say your name because it's just the mixing of like letters and numbers. But the question is, would you change some things according to your experience in the wellness advocate positions? I'm not 100% sure what the question really is here, but I think maybe what are your experiences as a wellness advocate? Like maybe a couple of the lessons that you learned that could be useful to share with others.
Yeah, maybe I would say there are 3 points. First of all, as I said at the beginning, as a kind of customer, I didn't really realize how powerful those oils are. So the more I experienced them, the more I saw really the power behind. And today, I can't imagine one day without the oils. And engaging myself as a wellness advocate, I would say this is something that helped me also to better understand it. So, and the second thing is, and I hope I understood the question correctly, what were some kind of insights as a wellness advocate that helped me now, right? So the second thing is really the business perspective. And I try to highlight it in my presentation. It's really this community. So it's not about I do my business alone. No, it's about building a team, mentoring, as well as like connecting with each other, right? So this is the core of doTERRA. And that's why for me, network marketing has a very, very positive reputation for me personally, because this is my learning, engaging as wellness advocates. It's all about connecting inside a team, but also making connections with customers, with new customers. And some of them I'm still in contact with. And however, and maybe this is the third point, and this sounds a little bit like, how should I say it? Not so nice. I was really, I didn't know that this essential oil market is so adulterated. So I didn't know that the oils that you can buy outside, you sometimes really have to be careful. And that's why I always highlighted the high quality of essential oils we do have. I always highlighted the sourcing process that we go through, the testing process, the CPTG standard, as well as everything that Terra is doing good on this earth, right? And I wasn't aware that, for example, the lemongrass that I once bought in Bali during my teacher training was not the best. It smelled nice, but when I really looked at what was in, I was really shocked. So these were some kind of 3 of my learnings, I would say. Really, my appreciation for the oils I got through a Wellness certificate. The appreciation also for the network marketing business I got through this, but also somehow this, consideration to be careful what to consume for my health and for my family's health.
Mm-hmm. Okay, amazing. There's a question from Elizabeth. Hello, I'm Elizabeth from Italy. Hello, Elizabeth. Good to have you here.
Hello.
The question is, I need to know how to build my business. Now, this is a huge topic, right? We can have like 10 separate webinars, but maybe can you point out like a resource or like a tool that she could study after this webinar?
I can tell you the tool that I started with, and then we can maybe switch on some corporate. When I decided to engage myself as wellness advocate, I went to a kind of seminar, and this seminar was held by the Shadowbees. So this is an amazing couple. They are like, I don't know, triple diamond, right? And they normally, out of COVID time, organize some kind of seminars in Prague. And I went there, and they had a very structured approach on how to do the business, right? But what they offer also are some kind of daily mentor calls. And those daily mentor calls offered by Ellie Shadowbee were one tool that I used personally to get a more structure for my business. I haven't followed it 100%, but it helped me a lot, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, from a corporate side, we do have like the Empowered Success Guides. Have a look at them. They're also very useful. And I can also tell you that there will come even more helpful resources from our side to guide you at the beginning of your journey. Other than that, Oliver, is there anything else that from your experience you might want to share?
Well, I think empowerment success is the thing that could be quite easily accessed on doTERRA-everyday.eu. So that would definitely be helpful. And Alex, my colleague, has also shared the link for the Shadowbees training Isabella was talking about. So if you're interested to learn more or listen to those daily mentor calls and you speak English, it's unfortunately only in English, but at least those who speak the language can have an access to it. I think, well, those are great resources. If anyone gets on those, you have ammunition for weeks, if not months. So these are great suggestions. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think this is great, Isabel. Thank you very, very much. Maybe any final thoughts?
I hope that we will see each other again. And as I said, so maybe this is a little bit unpolite that I invite myself to one of the next webinars, let's say in 3 months or so. And I would be happy to then share a little bit about my, let's say, learnings being a MD for Europe Central after 1 quarter or half a year, how you would like it. It might be interested for you, but also for me. So I would love to be again here and join you. And I will definitely listen to all your following webinars, Maria, and and Oliver, as I really love them. So thank you all for your time. I appreciate it very, very much. I know it's late and it's been already a long time, but I really, from the bottom of my heart, I say thank you, and I hope to see each other maybe one day in person.
Of course, every quarter, please come, and you're our eternal guest for sure. You shared great information with us. I'm sure we'll continue to learn from you big time. Thank you very much all for coming. Have a great night. And please, when you see this recorded webinar, which we will post in a few weeks, showing up in the various Facebook groups, please make sure that you tag your team members in it so they can also learn and benefit from it. Thank you. Have a great night. Hello, everyone. Bye-bye.